Welcome back, everyone. I'm Bethany Ricciardi out here at the gorgeous Duck Park. Katie Wolf, the Marketing Communications Director for the Community Foundation for Northeast Michigan, is joining me to continue our conversation about the Lake Huron Discovery Tour. Thank you so much for being here today, Katie.
Thank you. What a gorgeous day.
I know, it's perfect. We got the beautiful river in the background. So can you tell me a little bit about what is the Community Foundation's involvement with this tour?
The neat thing, the Community Foundation covers a 9-county area. So literally, the whole route that the US 23 Heritage Route covers goes through that 9-county area.
Perfect.
So it's a perfect marriage in that we get to promote our communities and get our communities involved. And so it helps the Community Foundation and it helps the Lake Huron Discovery Tour.
Awesome. So I know we spoke a little bit with Mary Ellen about the $25,000 grant that you folks just received. Do you want to go into a little bit more detail about how you were awarded with that? Sure.
One of the things that we started last year with recognizing while the Lake Huron Discovery Tour is held the same weekend as Christopher Columbus Day, which is a nice thing because we want people to get out and discover and explore our area. But then there's also the reality that we have a very rich Native American history here, and recognizing that the Native Americans were here, thousands of years before Christopher Columbus was even heard of in America. And so we got together with the city of Alpena, and they signed a proclamation recognizing Indigenous Peoples Day, and that really started a working relationship with the Saginaw Chippewa Indians. But what we realized in working on it, that there was a lot of history that's missing because of the things that happened when the white settlers came into this area. We've lost a lot of our Native American history, and so we saw this as a great opportunity to be able to explore that because it's fascinating and it's very much who we are. And so we applied for a Heritage Grant with the Michigan Humanities Council, and we were one of 23 that got selected. There were 68 applications, and we got funded for the full amount, so it's $25,000. Now that funding is very specifically for a project that's called Exploring Our Native American Heritage. So it does not cover all the promotional activities that we do for the Lake Huron Discovery Tour at large.
Kind of separate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So are there other supporters, organizations, entities that are kind of working with you with this?
Well, we will be, it's very important. We're working very closely, and as Mary Ellen picked up earlier, she's doing a very intensive effort interviewing all those Native Americans, tradition bearers, scholars that we are aware of that have familiarity with Northeast Michigan. And then the Besser Museum, which has one of the largest collections of its type of Native American artifacts, will be very involved in developing an exhibit that will travel. And all along the US 23 corridor, we will be working with our public libraries and other cultural institutions. And during the Lake Huron Discovery Tour, we will have Native American tradition bearers or experts, scholars at various locations to talk about this culture that we want to know more about. So it'll involve everything from presentations to community conversations to demonstrations, possibly music. And then Mary Ellen will be involved as a filmmaker recording much of this. And one of the end products with the Heritage Grant is that you have to have a digital component. So all of the interviews that we're doing, all the oral histories have been recorded, and then those will be archived at the Besser Museum as well as made available to our schools and public libraries, in addition to having this 8-minute documentary. I say 8-minute, it may be 10 minutes.
Ooh, okay.
So we're really, really excited about this.
And we'll be sure, we're going to talk with someone from the Besser Museum in the next segment, so we'll be sure to catch up on what their involvement is. But let's say, nonprofits, anything like that, how can they get involved? How can they play a part?
Well, we're hoping everywhere from, Standish up to Mackinac City, if you have a location that has events or is a destination or, has things that people want to get out and explore and discover, whether it's an art gallery, a candy shop, or a sinkhole, or maybe it's a fossil, a field that has really interesting fossils, dinosaurs. There's all kinds of cool things along there. So we want everybody that has those types of locations to go online to us23heritageroute.org, and they can schedule the events that they have going on during that time period, or in fact they can schedule everything they've got going on until then. And so then we will, as part of the Lake Huron Discovery team, and one of the things I do on behalf of the Community Foundation is look at all those little jewels that people have posted and then publicize that through social media. And we've partnered with Under the Radar and several other different entities to help publicize. So, we will be working with WBKB and all of our media throughout the whole quarter to really publicize these events. That's what the Lake Huron Discovery Tour, we call them kind of the core team, does.
Okay.
But then people are responsible for, we want our local communities to put their resources into making sure they have great events for people to experience.
Of course. So these signs, we're seeing them all over. I mean, they're kind of a catch. People are probably curious once they see one. How can you get one at a local business, or, how can you get
Well,
one?
if you go on our Facebook at Lake Huron Discovery Tour and you let us know that you'd like a sign or a poster, or if you go to the US 23 heritageroute.org site and just let us know, we'll coordinate with you to the promotional materials. We've got posters, these signs. We have some that are free. I think the yard signs, there's a small fee for them because they cost us a lot and we don't have a lot of revenue. But part of the core team that are really supporting this effort, and that's under the umbrella of the Michigan Cultural and Arts Northeast, also called MACNY for short. That team is working its way all the time up and down the US 23 route, heritage route, to make sure that people have signage and they know about it and they're getting their information online.
So we're right off of US 23 here where we are now, but let's say I wanted to start this tour. Where would you suggest beginning?
Well, that's the cool thing, is that you can go online and look at all of the things that are fascinated along the US 23 heritage route and really plan your own trip. So maybe you're interested in cycling or birding or hiking, so you can look at all the trails in that area and plot your own trip. So, you can start from Mackinac City, you can start from Rogers City, Presqu'Île, Alpena, Ossining, Oscoda, Alcona, any of those different communities, Harrisville, anywhere you want to start. Or a lot of people last year actually did start on one end, and we know that they went all the way to the other end over the 3 or 4 days because we have geocaching.
Oh.
And so that allowed us to know all the different places people were going. And that was really popular, and we'll do that again this year as well.
Sounds great. Well, thank you so much again for being here, Katie. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Awesome. And be sure to stay tuned, because when we come back, we'll be speaking with Chris Witulski at the Besser Museum and their involvement on More to See on US 23.